Hey Toolerinos, I've got a little wrench comparison to do here. If I sound out of breath, it's because I just went for a burn on the YZ250, and I'm getting too old for that motorcycle. I'm sorry to say, don't tell my son. Anyway, the line wrenches here, these are all 3/8. This one is a Pittsburgh chrome vanadium modern Harbor Freight wrench. This one looks to me like a vintage Mac tool. Let's see if we can focus there. See, it says Mac, but it also says no guarantee. Not sure if that's indicative of the age of the tool or just that they don't guarantee line wrenches because they're typically easy to break. And then this one is a snap-on, and it may be vintage because it kind of looks vintage and it has a patent number, so I will look that up. But comparing the tools themselves, the Pittsburgh has the flat towards the handle, the Mac has a flat towards the handle, the Snap-on has the point towards the handle. So what you end up with is 5 flats and 4 corners on these two, and in here you get 4 flats but 5 corners. Now I would think the corners are more important to avoid rounding off the line nut. If anybody out there knows better than me on that, please correct me in the comments. But it seems to me that the Snap-on is going to do a better job of gripping the line nut without rounding it off than either of these two. But there's more to it than that. Both the Mac and the Snap-on are full thickness inside. If you look at the the edge, it's not really dished in. Okay, and it is that way on both the Mac and the Snap-on. But on the Harbor Freight Pittsburgh one, there you go, it's really dished in. You see how it's dished? So you don't have nearly as much engagement with the line nut compared to the other ones. Also, if we look at the thickness of the head, we are about 0.286 on the Pittsburgh, and we are about 0.312 on the Mac, and we are about 0.355 on the Snap-on. So there again, we have a thicker head on the Snap-on, much thicker than the Pittsburgh, and you get full engagement for the thickness. The Harbor Freight one here, I'm just going to have to try to eyeball this. So on the Harbor Freight, I mean, I am kind of eyeballing it in there a little bit, but it looks like as close as I can get it. It's about 0.197 in the flat, and of course it's a little higher at the corners. But bottom line for the line wrenches, pun intended, is that the Pittsburgh wrench doesn't engage nearly as much of the surface of the nut, whether it's the flats or the corners. This one engages more flat but one fewer corners. This one engages one more corner, one fewer flat. So I feel like this is the more professional tool, and it's going to do a better job of breaking the line nut loose without rounding it off. And I'm assuming they know the strength of their wrench to know that it's less likely to spread, even though it can exert more load. And so my assumption is, for the Pittsburgh brand, they sacrifice your line nut in favor of the wrench. They want the nut to break, or I mean to round off, and not come loose, rather than stretch and damage the wrench so that it looks like the nut was the problem rather than the wrench being the problem. That's my take on it. What do you guys think? I don't think Project Farm has actually done a tool video for line wrenches yet. I think I will recommend that and see if he can do a proper, test with a lot of different brands and things to see who makes the best line wrench. But as far as the 3/8 ones I've got, I would say it's definitely the Snap-on. Thanks for watching. So it's been a while since I did an update on the white oak tree that I brought with me from Pennsylvania when my parents sold the house that I grew up in. And I decided, you know, it had a pretty good last couple years, including this year. Ow! Let go of me! So it's every bit of about 7 feet tall this year. And if you look at this cluster of branches right here, that's where it stopped growing last year. Ah, Leo, knock it off! So you can see at this point is about 32 inches. So the tree has added 32 inches of height this year. And it's looking good. Hey, leave the tree alone! What did it ever do to you? So it's just kind of cool, you know. I brought this tree when it was like this big. A tiny little stick with a few leaves on it. And now it's well taller than me. Leo! Can't get good help these days. Right? Anywho. So that's the update. The white oak is doing well. 7 feet tall this year. And I can't quite remember how many years it's been. I'll look it up and add it to the video right, you know, here. There, something like that. Okay. Bye, everybody. Say goodbye, Leo. What? Hey. What are you doing? What's with these noisy birds? Trying to film down here. Quiet on set. That goes for you too, mister.